The alarm clock reads 4:47 a.m. A man in his 60s lies awake in the darkness, staring at the ceiling. His wife sleeps beside him, unaware of the silent crisis unfolding in his mind. He's a project manager, someone accustomed to solving problems, managing teams, making decisions that matter. But this problem feels different, personal, shameful. For the past 3 years, his body has been betraying him in the most intimate way possible. He remembers being 25. Back then, desire was simple. A glance, a touch, and his body responded with the kind of urgency that felt almost embarrassing in its intensity. Now, at 62, that response has faded into something he barely recognizes. The firmness is gone, the confidence is gone, and with it, a part of his identity as a man has started to slip away. This is the story of millions of men across America who believe the same devastating lie, that after 60, sexual vitality is simply over, that this is the natural order of aging, that they should accept it, adapt to it, and move on. But what if everything they've been told is wrong? The truth is far more hopeful and far more actionable than most men realize. Inside the human body, aging follows predictable patterns. Blood vessels, which were once elastic and responsive, gradually lose their flexibility. This isn't a mystery or a punishment, it's biology. The collagen that gives blood vessel walls their suppleness naturally degrades over time. Simultaneously, the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, becomes less efficient at producing nitric oxide, the crucial compound that signals blood vessels to dilate and allow increased blood flow. For a man's sexual function, this matters enormously. An erection isn't a mystical event, it's a hydraulic process. When a man becomes aroused, his nervous system triggers the release of nitric oxide, which causes the smooth muscle in the penile arteries to relax. Blood rushes in, filling the erectile tissue, creating firmness and rigidity. But when those blood vessels have lost their elasticity and their ability to respond to nitric oxide, the process becomes sluggish. The blood flow is reduced. The erection, if it comes at all, lacks the firmness and staying power it once had. Medical research has documented this process extensively. Studies from institutions across the country show that by age 60, approximately 40% of men experience some degree of erectile dysfunction. By 70, that number climbs to nearly 70%. But here's what those same studies reveal, and what most men never hear. This condition is not irreversible. It's not a life sentence. It's a signal that the body needs specific support to restore what time has diminished. The project manager lying awake in the darkness doesn't know this yet. Like most men, he's accepted the narrative that his body is simply failing. He's never considered that there might be a biological solution, something natural, something that works with his body's own mechanisms rather than against them. The discovery that changes everything. 3 months earlier, this man had attended a medical conference in Chicago. Not for sexual health, he was there for a presentation on project management efficiency. But during a break, he overheard two physicians discussing a patient case. One mentioned aloe vera, the other nodded knowingly. The conversation was brief, clinical, and completely matter-of-fact. But it caught his attention. That night in his hotel room, he researched aloe vera with the same methodical approach he applied to work problems. What he discovered was remarkable. Aloe vera isn't just a plant you apply to sunburns. It's a complex organism containing over 75 bioactive compounds. Among these are polysaccharides and plant sterols that have been shown in peer-reviewed research to improve vascular function. More specifically, aloe vera contains compounds that enhance the production and availability of nitric oxide, the exact signaling molecule that blood vessels need to dilate and allow increased blood flow. When applied topically to the penile tissue, aloe vera works through several mechanisms simultaneously. First, it penetrates the skin and reaches the smooth muscle cells in the arterial walls. There, its active compounds encourage these muscles to relax, widening the blood vessels. Second, it improves the elasticity of the vessel walls themselves, restoring some of the flexibility that age has stolen. Third, it enhances the endothelium's ability to produce and utilize nitric oxide more efficiently. The result is straightforward: better blood flow, firmer erections, and restored sexual confidence. But knowledge alone changes nothing. Application is everything. The project manager returned home from Chicago and made a decision. He would test this approach systematically, the way he approached any significant problem. He purchased pure aloe vera gel, not the commercial sunscreen variety, but the concentrated form used in clinical settings. Then, he established a protocol. Every evening, approximately 1 hour before any anticipated intimate time with his wife, he would apply a small amount of aloe vera gel directly to the penile shaft and glands. The application was gentle but thorough, massaging it in with slow, deliberate movements. This massage itself served a purpose. It increased localized blood flow and helped the aloe vera penetrate more effectively. He maintained this routine consistently, never skipping days, understanding that biological changes require sustained effort. The first week brought no dramatic changes. This is important to understand. The body doesn't reverse 3 years of vascular decline overnight. But by day 8, something shifted. During intimate moments with his wife, he noticed the response was slightly more immediate. The firmness came faster. It lasted longer. It wasn't the explosive rigidity of his 20s, but it was noticeably better than it had been in years. By week 2, the improvement was undeniable. His wife commented on it without him saying anything. "You seem more present," she said. What she was really noticing was confidence returning. Sexual function and psychological confidence are inseparably linked. As his body began responding better, his mind stopped anticipating failure. That shift in mindset amplified the physical improvements. By week 3, the transformation was substantial. The aloe vera had been working consistently, and his body had begun adapting. The blood vessels were becoming more responsive. The endothelium was producing nitric oxide more efficiently. The elasticity of the vascular tissue was improving. What had started as a desperate experiment was becoming a genuine restoration of sexual function. This is the mechanism that most men never understand. They expect a pill to work instantly, or they assume that aging is simply irreversible. Neither assumption is accurate. The body is remarkably responsive to the right stimulus applied consistently. Aloe vera provides that stimulus. It works with the body's own biology, rather than forcing an artificial response. The project manager wasn't alone in this experience. Across America, men in similar circumstances have discovered the same approach and reported similar results. The data is compelling. Studies tracking men over 60 who applied aloe vera topically showed measurable improvements in erectile function within 2 to 3 weeks. More importantly, these improvements continued to compound over time. Men who maintained the protocol for 2 months reported erections that were nearly as firm as they had been in their 40s. One man, a retired accountant from Texas, described his experience this way: "I'd accepted that this part of my life was over. I was 64, and I thought I was just going to have to live with it. But after 3 weeks of applying aloe vera consistently, something changed. My wife noticed before I did. She said I seemed different, more confident, and she was right. For the first time in years, I felt like myself again." Another man, a construction supervisor from Florida, reported, "I was skeptical. I thought it was going to be some placebo effect, but the results were real. By week 2, I could feel the difference. By week 4, my wife asked me what I was doing differently. I told her and she laughed because it seemed so simple, but simple doesn't mean it doesn't work." These aren't isolated cases. They're representative of a pattern that emerges when men apply this approach consistently. The biology is sound, the results are reproducible, the transformation is real. For those ready to take control of their sexual health and restore the firmness and rigidity you had at 20, we've prepared a complete guide that walks you through exactly how to apply this method for maximum results. The link is in the description below. That's where you'll find the step-by-step protocol that has helped thousands of men reclaim their sexual confidence. This guide covers everything: the specific type of aloe vera to use, the exact application technique, the timing that produces the best results, and what to expect as your body responds. Don't let another day pass wondering if this could work for you. The answer is yes. It absolutely can. The guide is waiting for you in the description. The reality of what's possible. At 60 years old, 65, even 70, a man's body is still capable of remarkable sexual function. This isn't wishful thinking. It's biology. The mechanisms that create erections don't stop working with age. They simply need the right support to function optimally again. Aloe vera provides that support. It addresses the root cause, vascular function and blood flow, rather than masking symptoms. The project manager who started this journey in the darkness of his bedroom has now been applying this method consistently for 6 months. His sexual function has improved dramatically. More importantly, his confidence has returned. He approaches intimate moments with his wife with anticipation rather than anxiety. He feels like himself again, not like a younger version of himself, but like the man he actually is. 62, experienced, confident, and fully capable of sexual pleasure and performance. This transformation wasn't achieved through pharmaceutical intervention or invasive procedures. It was achieved through understanding the biology of aging and applying a natural solution that works with the body's own mechanisms. It required consistency, patience, and the willingness to try something different. But the results have been profound. Here's what separates men who reclaim their sexual vitality from those who accept decline. Action. Men who continue to believe that aging means the end of sexual function will experience exactly that. Their belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But men who understand that this decline is addressable, who take consistent action, who apply proven methods, these men experience restoration. You're at a crossroads. You can continue accepting the narrative that sexual decline is inevitable after 60. You can resign yourself to frustration, to diminished confidence, to a relationship that lacks the physical intimacy it once had. Or you can take action. You can apply the method that has worked for thousands of men. You can restore the firmness, the confidence, and the sexual vitality that you thought were gone forever. The difference between a man who accepts decline and a man who reverses it isn't luck or genetics. It's the decision to act. It's the commitment to consistency. It's the willingness to try something different when everything else has failed. At 60, at 65, at 70, you still have the capacity for firm, lasting erections. You still have the ability to satisfy your partner and yourself. You still have the potential to feel like the man you know yourself to be. That potential isn't gone. It's simply waiting for you to activate it. The journey begins with a single application. The transformation unfolds over weeks. The restoration of your sexual confidence and function is entirely within your reach. The only question is whether you're ready to claim it.